Around 2500 years ago, in a happy kingdom of Kapilvastu, King Suddhodana and Queen Mahamaya found out that they were going to have a baby. So, the queen decided to go to his father's house. On the way, they came to Lumbini Gardens, where she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, whom they called Siddharth. Sadly, 7 days later, the queen died. A wise man named Kaldevala predicted that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a great holy man. The king wanted his son to inherit the kingdom. Therefore, he decided to prevent Siddhartha from becoming interested in the life of a holy man and the world outside the palace. So the king ordered the young prince to be protected from all evidence of suffering and imperfection, including sickness, old age, and death. Gotham grew up in princely luxury, shielded from outside world, entertained by dancing girls, and instructed by Brahmins. At the age of 16, King Suddhodana got him married to the beautiful princess Yashodhara. The king hoped that once Siddharth was married, he would never want to leave home. But Siddharth was unhappy in the palace. One day, he told his servant Channa to go for a ride outside the palace. On the way, the prince saw a man bent with age. The prince had never seen an old man before. "What is that, Channa?" he asked. "This is an old man," said Channa. "We will all grow old one day, prince." The prince was very upset and went back to his palace. After a few days, Siddharth went out again. This time he saw a very sick man who was crying out in pain. Siddharth had never seen a sick man before, and so he asked Channa, "Why is that man crying?" "He is sick and is crying in pain," Channa replied. Siddharth was very upset and went back to the palace. The next time Siddharth went out, he saw a group of people carrying a dead body. Channa explained to Siddharth that he was seeing a dead person and said, "One day we all will die." Siddharth realized that his father had kept him inside the palace to protect him from these things. He asked to himself, "Must we all become old, sick, and die? Is there no other way?" Siddharth went out again. This time saw a man with shaven head, wearing orange robes and carrying a bowl in his hand. The man looked very content. He asked, "Who is that man?" Channa said, "That's a wise man who had left everything and gone to the forest to seek happiness." Siddharth thought over all the things he had seen. He then decided to leave home in search of happiness. So one night, while his wife and his son Rahul were sleeping, Siddharth, along with his faithful servant Channa, quietly left the palace. They traveled together till they crossed the river Anuma. There, Siddharth took off his royal robes. He gave his clothes and his horse to Channa to take back to the palace. He then put an orange robe, cut off his long hair, and set out with a bowl in hand. He was 29 years old when he left the palace. Siddharth's decision to give up his life of comfort and ease was his first step to becoming a Buddha. Siddharth became an ascetic now. He wandered and searched for truth. training with different teachers to learn yoga and meditation. He practiced his new way of life with a group of 5 ascetics, and his dedication to his quest was so stunning that the 5 ascetics became Siddharth's followers. When answers to his questions did not appear, however, he redoubled his efforts, enduring pain, fasting nearly to starvation, and refusing water. Whatever he tried, Siddharth could not reach the level of insight he sought until one day when a young girl offered him a bowl of rice. As he accepted it, he suddenly realized that physical penance was not the means to achieve inner liberation, and that living under harsh physical constraints was not helping him achieving spiritual release. So he had his rice, drank water, and bathed in the river. The 5 ascetics decided that Siddhartha had given up the ascetic life and would now follow the ways of the flesh, and they promptly left him. That night, Siddhartha sat alone under the peepal tree, vowing to not get up until the truths he sought came to him, and he meditated until the sun came up the next day. He remained there for several days, purifying his mind, seeing his entire life and previous lives in his thoughts. During this time, he had to overcome the threats of Mara, an evil demon who challenged his right to become the Buddha. When Mara attempted to claim the enlightened state as his own, Siddharth touched his hand to the ground, that is Bhumi Sparsh, and asked the earth to bear witness to his enlightenment, which it did, banishing Mara. And soon a picture began to form in his mind of all that occurred in the universe, and Siddharth finally saw the answer to the questions of suffering that he had been seeking for so many years. In that moment of pure enlightenment, Siddharth Gautam became the Buddha, an enlightened being or one who is awake. He was 35 when he got enlightenment, that is nirvana. Armed with his new knowledge, the Buddha was initially hesitant to teach because what he now knew could not be communicated to others in words. According to legend, it was then that the king of gods, Brahma, convinced Buddha to teach, and he got up from his spot under the peepal tree or Bodhi tree and set out to do just that. About 100 miles away, he came across the 5 ascetics he had practiced for so long, who had abandoned him on the eve of his enlightenment. Siddharth encouraged them to follow a path of balance instead of extremism. He called his path the middle way or Madhyam Marg. To them and others who had gathered, he preached his first sermon at Sarnath, in which he explained the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which became the pillars of Buddhism. This whole incident is known as Dhamm Chakra Parivartana, that is, the turning of the wheel of Dhamma. The ascetics then became his first disciples and formed the foundation of the Sangha or community of monks. Women were admitted to the Sangha and all barriers of class, race, sex, and previous background were ignored, with only the desire to reach enlightenment through the banishment of suffering and spiritual emptiness considered. When Buddha returned to Kapilvastu, his father, wife, and son, along with many others, became his disciples. One of his relatives, called Anand, became Buddha's faithful disciple and took care of him when he grew old. Buddha preached for another 45 years. By then, he had become an old man of 80 years. Finally, at the place called Kushinara, he lay down below the sal trees and breathed his last. When he died, it is said that he told his disciples that they should follow no leader, but to be your own light. The Buddha is undoubtedly one of the most influential figures in world history, and his teachings have affected everything from a variety of other faiths to literature to philosophy, both within India and to farthest reaches of the world.